It's always too real.
All right, sorry about that, everybody. I was on the phone, got a call from somebody, from Sam. I play Minecraft with him, and he finally got our server fixed, he thinks, so he needs me to jump on and do that. I will be doing that after I cover some stuff. My feet are frozen, y'all. I went to the store. It's part of the reason I'm a little late. I had to figure out how to get out of my driveway. So, let's go ahead and listen to this video right here.
Clashes between protesters and the police have been ongoing in Haiti for the past weeks. The opposition in the country says President Jovenel Moïse's mandate ended on February 7th, while the government says it has one more year left. The discussion is over when his term began. Moïse took office in 2017 because of the political instability in the country. But protesters say the constitution says something else. Al Jazeera spoke to Foreign Minister Claude Joseph over the political crisis in the Caribbean nation.
There are large sectors in the country that say that what's happening now is illegal, and the president said that there was an attempt on his life, that a coup was being set up in Haiti. 3 judges from the Supreme Court were removed. One of them was detained. So is Haiti's democracy at risk?
Haiti is not a democracy at risk. What the government is trying to do, and we are doing our utmost to keep it, is to preserve democracy in Haiti. We have seen over and over how some politicians and some oligarchs are trying to use all illegal means to actually claim power in Haiti. So this is exactly what is going on now.
But Foreign Minister, you're talking about oligarchs and about how they handle power in Haiti. But when you look at the streets of Haiti, the people that are on those streets demanding change, demanding action, criticizing the president, are actually demanding that their lives improve. I mean, they're not oligarchs. I mean, what do you say to them?
No, they are not oligarchs. In all democracy, it's not only here in the United States, in great democracy, how you can call it, you have people protesting. And some of them are not, I should say, use violent means. But the interesting thing here is that the government is paying attention to what the people are asking. They are asking for their life to be improved. Those are legitimate concerns, and we agree, and the government is working on that.
President Jovenel Moïse says he will call for a referendum that will lead to the reform of Haiti's constitution, and says legislative and presidential elections will happen this year.
Okay, and we got information earlier that he had already distributed a copy of a draft constitution to the political parties of Haiti. So that's pretty good. That's a good move in that direction. And I appreciate swiftness on that. That's not sliding into anarchy, you stupid motherfuckers. That's not what anarchy means.
Mujahid Mohammed says this is the first harvest he's supervised with workers from South Sudan. In the past, his workforce has come from nearby Ethiopia, but this year, that is not possible.
The fighting on the border between us and them is affecting the workers, and our economic crisis is also turning workers away. They used to earn good money, but now our pound is constantly losing value.
His father, who owns more than 4,000 hectares of farmland here in Sudan's eastern Gadaref state, says the harvest has been slow this year.
South Sudanese workers cover up to 70% of the shortage of Ethiopian workers this year. So normally we'd have covered more in terms of harvest, but this year is different. We're slightly back in harvesting schedule.
Much of Gadaref is covered with fertile land, but Sudan's eastern border has been witnessing the consequences of Ethiopia's domestic issues. Fighting in Ethiopia's northern Tigray region has resulted in people, some who once came in as farm workers, now coming into Sudan as refugees. And since December, Sudan's military has moved to take over.
Oh no, Ian, Al Jazeera is a wonderful news source. I use Al Jazeera and Telesur quite often. I like both of them. They're real news, but the deal is, like, you have to account for their bias as well. They're funded in part by the Qatari government.
Over a fertile 3,000 square kilometer region in the state known as El Fashaga, pushing back Ethiopian farmers. The government uses a 1902 colonial agreement to claim the area, but ethnic Amhara farmers from Ethiopia say the area is part of their region and they have been farming it for nearly 5 decades without any objection from Sudan's previous government. The coronavirus pandemic has also reduced the number of Ethiopians coming in. Sudanese authorities say hundreds of thousands of Ethiopians looking for work used to come in annually through the 2 border crossings in Gadaref state. Their search for work sometimes takes them all the way to the capital, Khartoum. This is now the only official crossing that is functioning, and it's strictly only open to allowing Ethiopian workers to work in farms here in Gadaref state. Only 100,000 are allowed this year, a great reduction from previous years. Many workers who cross the border don't venture past this area in El Gallabat locality. It's a stretch of land where no paperwork is needed for Ethiopians to enter.
I work here and return to Ethiopia every evening. Whenever border tensions between our country and Sudan flares, we get affected. We're neighbors, we consider ourselves brothers, so we hope issues between Ethiopia and Sudan are settled so we can live and work in peace.
See? Yeah, the PBS NewsHour is actually fairly decent. That statement, though, we're neighbors, we consider each other brothers. That's a sentiment that I share with pretty much everyone on this planet. We're all people. We should be taking care of each other, working together. Ooh, hour-long debate. Yeah, of course they do. Useless news. Yeah, Jon Stewart, based as fuck, y'all. Anytime Jon Stewart's in the news. Alright. I hate to do it, but let's tear down an idiot. This is gonna be a segment. Ian, before I do this, do you know how to do, like, video clipping, editing, stuff like that, or just know how to clip out a segment?
Well, our society.
I think this will be the one. Okay, that's just a thing for future. Alright. I'm gonna just have to start clipping as it goes. So, let's get this, let's go ahead and get this started. Alright, what do you got for us, Ben?
Well, our society may be in trouble. And I speak about Western civilization more broadly. According to the Times of the UK, midwives in a place called Brighton have been told to say chest feeding instead of breastfeeding, and to replace the term mother with mother or birthing parent as part of moves to be more trans-friendly. Brighton and Sussex University Hospital's NHS Trust is the first in the country to formally implement a gender-inclusive language policy for its maternity services department, which will now be known as perinatal services, because men can have babies too. Through their
Yes. Actually, fully yes.
urethras.
No, not through their urethras. Through their vaginas, Ben. Men can have babies. Women can get men pregnant. Because gender is a social construct. And so a trans man is also a man. And a trans woman is a woman.
Or their butts or something. Staff have been instructed that breast milk should be replaced with the phrases human milk, breast/chest milk, or milk from the feeding mother or parent.
Yeah, I mean, that's not that difficult. It's really not. Human milk is the most appropriate term. Because do you call cow's milk titty milk? Do you call it breast milk? I don't think you do. You just call it milk.
Literally yesterday, we in this office were talking about the scene from Meet the Parents, in which Robert De Niro asks if because he has nipples, can he also be milked?
Yeah, you actually can. With enough stimulation, men can actually lactate.
And that is the question now. Human milk is called breast milk because it comes from breasts. Breasts belong to women. It is not called chest milk because men have chests and their chests do not produce. Well, our society
That's the wrong thing I hit.
called breast milk because it comes from breasts. Breasts belong to women. It is not called chest milk because men have chests and their chests do not produce. I know that this is difficult stuff, and I'm going to take.
Human male breastfeeding is possible, but production of the hormone prolactin is necessary to induce lactation, so male lactation does not occur under normal circumstances or conditions. But it can occur.
Take it super slowly for those of you who put genders in your profiles, in your Twitter profile. Chest milk, or milk from the feeding mother or parent. So like from the ear or something. Other changes include replacing the use of woman with woman or person. Woman or person, because women are not people. So you have to use one of the two. Woman or person.
They're trying to avoid using gendered terminology. Now they fucked up by putting mothers or breasts, or I mean not breasts, but women, but it happens, you know? Yeah. Yeah, I don't think nut juice looks very good on a carton. It's not something most people would buy. I wouldn't buy it. But almond silk, like the chocolate silk and stuff, the chocolate soy milk and whatnot, and regular almond milk, pretty fucking good, I'm not gonna lie.
Not and or person, woman or person. And father with parent, co-parent, or second biological parent, depending on the circumstances. Okay, so every single Father's Day for the last several years, I've tweeted out, happy second legal guardian's day. And people have gone nuts on Twitter. They've gone crazy on Twitter. How dare I say such a thing? I mean, don't you understand that fathers are, yes, I understand fathers are important. That's why I'm making fun of the perspective that says fathers are not important. Biological.
There is no perspective that says that fathers are not important. Actually, no, let me take that back. Fathers aren't necessarily the important thing. Having two parents, having a stable income, and a good household, that's the important thing. Having both parents around is a determiner, or it's a thing that shows that you're going to have a better life, or at least you are more likely to have a better life, that you're set up better to approach life. Because when you have two parents, that usually means that one of them can go to work and the other one can actually watch you and take care of you and raise you. And then when the other one gets home from work, they can watch you for a bit while the other one goes and does other things like relaxes and takes care of their mental stress from watching your little ass run around and be a fucking demon because children are Satan.
Biological males exist. Biological females exist. Only biological females can produce milk for the benefit of the children. They have also produced.
No. Fucking wrong, Ben. That's wrong, Benjamin. Again, that's wrong. Men can lactate. Strange but true. Men can lactate. Yes, men can lactate.
With their bodies. The attempt to completely remove from femininity having babies and breastfeeding them is insane and crazy. That's crazy. That's not.
No, not really. It's actually pretty based and epic and bread pilled, and you're just mad. Look at his little gremlin face. Look at that. He's so fucking triggered.
Stuff that males do. I'm sorry to break this to you, but like you're literally denying the femininity of the chief aspect of femininity. You're denying women their femininity by saying that it is just a human thing to feed children with your breasts. It is not just an all
No, it is. It is just a human thing to feed children with your breast. Again, I will keep going to this every time he brings it up. I could just leave it on here.
Human thing to feed children with your breasts. This is so ridiculous. And honestly, it's the most sexist crap against biological women I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's really not. Is he going to cry? Ben. Facts don't care about your feelings, buddy.
A man can also chest feed. Can he, though? Can he? The party of science. I desperately want somebody to ask Jen Psaki about this. Like whether, as a trans rights inclusive administration, they are going to encourage all federal language to be changed such that breastfeeding will only be replaced with chest feeding, and mothers will be replaced with first biological parent, and fathers with second biological parent, or sometimes vice versa. Honest to God, what is wrong with human beings who think like this? It's madness.
What's wrong with you, you stupid piece of shit? Look, again, male lactation. It's got a whole Wikipedia. They even have a drug that can be used to increase lactation. Male lactation has also been seen during recovery from starvation. This may be because the glands that produce hormones recover more quickly than the liver, which absorbs hormones, leading to high hormone levels. Facts and logic. Blowing apart the stupid, dumb fuck argument that Ben Shapiro's using.
It's just madness. We as a society are supposed to devolve into collective madness so that some people feel better about the fact that they believe they're members of the opposite sex. That's essentially what we have gone to. So really solid stuff. Good stuff here. Okay, meanwhile, the drama over at the New York Times continues to unfold. We'll get to more of this in just 1 second. First, as we all
Nope.
left has suggested, right? Our institution, all people want, the guild does not know who's for her old tweets, and everybody's like, oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't delete my old tweets, even the ones that I /Ben TAXF for tweets before November 2020. So that's exciting. It's fun that you can do this if you're on the left. I don't delete my old tweets, even the ones that I don't like and regret and have explained, because there should be a record of them. Nicole Hannah-Jones just nukes her old tweets, and everybody's like, oh, okay. Now, apparently, she is making the case that Donald McNeil, you remember that? Donald McNeil, the guy from the New York Times, who was forced to resign essentially because woke staffers pressured him into resigning for not being a racist. Remember that? Nicole Hannah-Jones tweeted out today.
I almost guarantee, because Ben lies about everything, that's a huge mischaracterization.
That she does not know why he resigned. Quote, we do not know. None of us do. So we should stop pretending otherwise. I will say that as a represented employee, McNeil could not have just been fired without due process. The guild would have represented him, just as it did the first time. Oh, it's a mystery. A mystery wrapped in an enigma. Yeah. All these people wonder why the institutions have a problem. Why people have very little trust in the institutions.
It's because people like you come out and tell fucking blatant lies, and you're funded by big goddamn money, and you label yourself as the facts over feeling logic bro, and you shit on fucking liberals completely disingenuously, and also with a bunch of lies. And dumb fuck 15-year-olds come across your shit and they go, oh wow, he sounds really smart and he talks really fast, so I'm gonna go ahead and emulate him and I'm gonna follow him, he's gonna be my god hero and I can't believe that, oh my god, it's Ben Shapiro. And then they get radicalized into Nazism and they realize that you're Jewish, so they drop you for the most part, but they recognize they can't have you just completely blown off because you were a radicalizing force to them. And so they kind of show you some deference, but they hate you because they became fucking Nazis, and you still get money to radicalize people to Nazi them.
I think we figured out why people have little trust in the institutions. Our institutions of science are calling breastfeeding chest feeding. Our newspapers are firing people for the great crime of not using the N-word in racist fashion. Simply talking about
But that is definitely not what happened.
the N-word in the context of a story, and people are getting fired for this. And then doxing people who ask questions about it, these newspapers, and their chief employees. Why? But why is the institutional trust down, gang? Why? Why? You know what we need?
It's because of idiots like you misrepresenting that shit. So he's gonna say some stupid shit and then shill for his channel some more. Alright, that's about what I expected from Ben. 3 days old, but it's perfectly fine. Because I don't give a shit about the Gina Carano thing. Not a very good actress, in my opinion, versus, working with somebody who's absolutely a failed screenwriter. I think I'm okay with that. Nothing going on here. Literally nothing. This shit's funny. Stuff like that. It's really funny, but I'm not gonna show it because it's, somebody else's stuff like that. It's not like The Onion. Hopefully not. It's guaranteed to be funny. Voter apathy party. Alright, so there's literally nothing going on right now. Nothing I haven't already covered, that is. Okay, we got polls closed in some election that I don't know about. Huge rallies in Myanmar for 9th day. Army steps up, and then Yemeni clashes. Yeah, I've already covered that stuff. Anything brand new here on Telesur? Okay, that's good. 100,000 rushing COVID vaccines to Venezuela, which will help Venezuela out a lot. Already covered that. Guinea declares an Ebola epidemic. There was cases found in DRC yesterday. So, Ebola spreading, not good. Things are going to shit, y'all. And we have the resources to be able to help, but we don't. Ooh, let's go with this.
Ms. Omar.
I absolutely love Ilhan Omar as a representative. She's wonderful. She's actually in a video that I'm going to be uploading.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for your testimonies. Mr. Adams, in 1991, you pleaded guilty to 2 counts of withholding information from Congress regarding your involvement in the Iran-Contra affair, for which you were later pardoned by President George H.W. Bush. I fail to understand why members of this committee or the American people should find any testimony that you give today to be truthful.
If I can respond to that.
It wasn't a question.
That
was not a question. That was I reserve the right to my time.
It is not right.
That was
Members
not
of
a
this
question.
Committee can attack
On February
a witness
8th,
who is not permitted to reply.
that was not a question. Thank you for your participation. On February 8th, 1982, you testified before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee about U.S. policy in El Salvador. In that hearing, you dismissed as communist propaganda report about the massacre of El Mozote, in which more than 800 civilians, including children as young as 2 years old, were brutally murdered by U.S.-trained troops. During that massacre, some of those troops bragged about raping a 12-year-old girl before they killed them. Girls before they killed them. You later said that the U.S. policy in El Salvador was a fabulous achievement. Yes or no, do you still think so?
From the day that President Duarte was elected in a free election to this day, El Salvador has been a democracy. That's a fabulous achievement.
Yes or no, do you think that massacre was a fabulous achievement that happened under our watch?
That is a ridiculous question, and I will
Yes
not
or no?
No.
I will
Sorry, Mr.
I will
Chairman,
take that as a yes.
I am not going to respond to that kind of personal attack, which is not a question.
Yes or no, would you support an armed faction within Venezuela that engages in war crimes, crimes against humanity or genocide, if you believe they were serving U.S. interest, as you did in Guatemala, El Salvador, and Nicaragua?
I am not going to respond to that question. I'm sorry. I don't think this entire line of questioning is meant to be real questions, and so I will not reply.
Fucking snowflake.
Whether under your watch, a genocide will take place, and you will look the other way because American interests were being upheld, is a fair question, because the American people want to know that anytime we engage a country, that we think about what our actions could be and how we believe our values are being furthered. That is my question. Will you make sure that human rights are not violated and that we uphold international and human rights?
I suppose there is a question in there, and the answer is that the entire thrust of American policy in Venezuela is to support the Venezuelan people's effort to restore democracy to their country. That's our policy.
Lies. Everything that this guy promises is lies. He's a liar, a lie.
I don't think anybody disputes that. The question I had for you is that does the interest of the United States include protecting human rights and include protecting people against genocide?
That is always the position of the United States.
Thank you.
Oh, then why do we support Saudi Arabia, who's genociding people in Yemen? Why do we support Israel, who's genociding Palestinians? America supports genocidal places quite often. We were very reluctant to step against Hitler. Just saying. So again, I mean, they're just gonna lie. Okay, what?
We have a voicemail number, which is 2192-DAVID-P. I've gotten a lot of questions about, I know that it sounds unbelievable, but the right now has a new date on which they believe Trump is going to come to power. The conspiracy right. They believe it's March 4th. Here's a viewer asking about it.
Yes, David, this is Alan calling for Texas, and I've been reading a bunch of stuff online about March the 4th being the day that QAnon believes Donald Trump will come back into power.
Right.
And it has to do with a law that changed the date when the inauguration of the president
yes,
moved from March to January.
That's exactly right. There are some QAnon types that are floating a pretty convoluted conspiracy theory, which says Trump is going to be re-inaugurated on March 4th. And he's going to be president of the United States. And what this comes from is that before 1937, presidents would be inaugurated on March 4th. And then it was changed by the 20th Amendment to January 20th. So there are QAnon types and sovereign citizen types and some of the fringe groups that talk about a deep state and all these different things. They are claiming that on March 4th, under a restored republic that will go back to the sort of presidential timeline of presidents inaugurated on March 4th prior to 1937, Trump's going to be sworn in. I hope I'm doing justice to something completely crazy that doesn't even deserve justice being done, but that's my understanding of the theory, and it's not going to happen.
No, it will not. I don't understand why people are so fucking adamant on their stupid shit. But, you know, it's just how it is. I don't fully get it. It's whatever. Not my thing. Oh, it's pending. Of course. Back into my thing. There we go. Now, I think I have it rotated correctly. How does this sound, Ian? Are you even still here? No? You're not still here? That taps. Oh boy. Oh, that was a year ago. Never mind. That's fine. That's interesting. Okay. This is a Minecraft server that Sam watches a lot of. So, you know, that's a thing. True, they did. It's really fucked. Yeah, pretty much.
You began a sentence a little while ago with it's not a surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise that rich white men don't care about poor black people, period. So they're not high on their list. They're not high on their list.
George,
They're
I
not
love you,
high.
George,
They're not.
but that's
I don't care if you
nonsense.
love me or not.
That's
They're not
nonsense.
high on the conscious or the
No, that's
subconscious
nonsense.
list of those people who are in charge of things in this country. The owners, forget these foolish elections. The owners of this country don't care about the poor in general.
The owners
and
of
they
this
don't care
country,
about
what are we going... is this Karl Marx talking to me? The owners of this country are the voters of this country.
You're wrong about that, my friend.
Aren't the owners of
You're
this
absolutely
country the voters in this country who
no,
elected
they're,
George
no,
Bush?
they're not. Listen, politics, these elections are a charade. It is a charade.
Oh, okay.
It is, they are meant to... Well, I'll tell you, listen, just listen for a minute. Learn a little something. The elections and politicians are in place in order to give Americans the illusion that they have freedom of choice. You don't really have choice in this country.
Well, and let me ask you this about the looting. Would you agree that there was two kinds of looting? That there was the kind where people were desperate because they were starving and maybe were taking food out of a store, and then there were some people who were taking stereo equipment.
Yeah.
Would you agree that there was two kinds of
Yeah,
looting?
people were walking away with television sets.
Hey, would you
And
agree
they
that
didn't
there was
notice
those
that.
two kinds of looting?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then is it not wrong for the president to issue an ultimatum that there was zero tolerance and thereby encourage his right-wing flacks in the liberal media to go ahead and say this gives us license to suggest that we shoot people on sight, as if in the middle of this crisis where so many people are dying already, what we need to do is shoot Tyrone because he's getting out of Circuit City with some soggy tweeters. And I think Tyrone always had soggy tweeters, quite frankly.
I have an addendum to that. The real looting in this country takes place in the transfer of the wealth from the poor to the rich. I'm sorry that you don't like class and the truth, my friend, but you're just stuck.
Fucking based. You see this face? This is somebody who has literally no comeback on this. All he's gonna do is go, what, are you a communist?
Class is class, and the poor have been systematically looted in this country. The rich have been made richer under this criminal, fascist president and his government.
You know, George, I think you know. Do you know what fascism is? You know what fascism is?
When it comes to America,
You know what Nazis are?
No, wait, sir, wait,
You
sir.
know what
When
Nazis
fascism
are? You know
comes
what
to America, it
fascists
will
are?
not be in brown and black shirts. It will not be with jack boots. It will be Nike sneakers and smiley shirts. Smiley. The fascism. Germany lost the Second World War. Fascism won it. Believe
And
me,
actually,
my friend.
fascism is when corporations become the government.
Yes.
And that's sort of what we have. And poverty has gone up.
Bill, you used to be mildly based as well. You knew this shit. Oh my god. See these ideas? Popular.
So 17. Get this straight, George. You think that looting is looting okay if there's no hurricane?
First of all, property.
Can you break into tweeters whenever you want?
We're talking
I
about
have no problem with theft. May I be honest
No
with
problem
you?
with
I have no problem with theft. It's true. I know.
But wait a sec. We're talking.
Based. See, Carlin was a comrade. Most popular comedian? Comrade. Art is a left-leaning thing. Why there's so many lefty artists. Happy birthday, Bosch. Go brigade his page.
We're not saying, you know, this reminds me of the O.J. situation. It wasn't that O.J. was innocent. We all knew he killed his wife. Okay? It's not that looting is good. We all know looting is bad. It's the priorities. It's the fact that white people obsessed on one black guy getting away with a crime once when it had worked in reverse 1 billion times more. The same way they're obsessing about a few people getting away in the middle of this much bigger crisis. It's a matter of what's proportional. I think that's what we're saying about looting. No one is defending looting. Well, when you say, I don't care what that is always what these kind of commentators say. I don't care what their race is, as if things were even to begin with. Bill O'Reilly and his ilk are saying things like, you know what? If you just would have gotten education, you wouldn't be in this situation. As if it's easy to get an education in situations where there's so much segregation.
Bill, I completely agree with you on that.
Comrade Carlin. Fucking based. Sorry, replying to somebody on Twitter. Got a show for the channel. Can't even show that.
Oh, Jesus, that's really good. That's really fucking funny. Good shit.
You don't love the spirit of justice. You love your father,
Good
the
shit.
devil.
Keep it real.
What's your honest opinion of Vosh? I personally like him, but your community hates him. The fuck do you mean? My community doesn't hate Vosh. I think a lot of people didn't like what he did originally and didn't like the way he apologized. But a lot of people in my community like Vosh and watch his content like all the time. It's like probably the #1 person that gets brought up for me to collaborate with, except I can't because he's banned. Because of he's permanently banned. But if we're being real, I think he provides a good service.
Because he does. Vosh is based. And I know that that in itself will get you canceled. But it's true. Alright, so we have a bunch of bullshit going on over here. So I have to move on to strategy. So if I'm going to do that, I'm going to be entertained. So I suppose that means 50 minutes. You know what? Let's have a small chat just sitting here for a moment. I'll go ahead and start opening up Arena because I want to engage my brain, you know? Alright, so I mentioned this in the stream earlier today. Sorry. We have a problem on the left. Mainly the online left. which there's a distinction. The online left are the people who do all their advocacy solely online. They don't really do anything outside of it. They don't talk to their neighbors or their co-workers or anything like that about anything, really, a lot of the time. And it's pretty easy when you look at how they speak. The way that they talk is fucking esoteric theory, fucking just nonsense. Hyper militant, and if they are speaking to neighbors and coworkers, they are driving them the fuck away. Because a lot of those people are probably liberals, and liberals are not prone to wanting militant, overthrows of shit. And, or conservatives. And that's kind of a thing. That comes down to part of strategy, which is effective rhetoric. Now, effective rhetoric can come through many forms and in many different ways. You have to figure out the proper approach, is the bottom line. I'll go ahead and throw that out. Okay. Seems okay. Seems perfectly fine. So let's go ahead and just make that clear. The need to be able to speak to people. Lenin wrote himself that you need to meet people at their level of radicalization, lest you become a windbag. As infantile as some shit. I don't remember the full 100% quote. I'm sorry. So essentially what that means Nicholas Olson. Ah, shit. Nick. Who are you on Twitter? I talk to a lot of fucking tankies. Are you, Hold on, I gotta figure out which account I'm on. Because I do this on both accounts. Nicholas. Oh. Are you studying... Is that cybersecurity and music? Is that you? Yeah, those people frustrate the shit out of me. I'm not even gonna lie. Not in the slightest. Go ahead and drop the 3-1. Oh fuck. Yeah, anarchists being anti-state, how dare you? You can't dare shit on a state. I'll criticize whatever the fuck I feel like. I criticized... Okay, so get this. I criticized something about Lenin because I didn't agree with a piece of whatever there was in theory. I don't remember the exact context. And somebody legit came out and said, oh, what was it? They said, you're literally questioning Lenin right now. Not a good look. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, so yeah, back to rhetoric. So there's multiple ways to approach different situations. For example, there's with like Nazis and shit, and really hardcore conservatives, something to keep in mind is that when you're going to talk to them, you try and find the one who seems to be like the quote-unquote leader of a group. That way, The USSR wasn't a literal communist. Shit. But yeah, there's a big problem, I feel, with leftist, like, lack of rhetoric. So, with Nazis and stuff, you need to bully them. That's a big deal. You just bully the shit out of them, make them question their worldview, and then they will, they'll lose their shit. Eventually, they'll turn introspective. I've seen it happen a lot. I've actually bullied a couple of people who were starting to become Nazis themselves in a very similar direction, in a similar way. Oh, that's awesome. So I can do that. I'll do that, just because this thing's a vigilance. It's gonna go back, but whatever. Yeah, it is, and that, to me, that's part of a problem, because while, yeah, they're fucking libs, they're still more capable of being allies. I've had my main, original main, yeah, it got absolutely nuked, so I made 2 new profiles to be able to bully Nazis on. So, fun. So, let's get these swinging. Okay. So I do like bullying libs sometimes, but sometimes I'm big on not doing that, because you can sway some libs over. Sometimes bullying them a little bit is nice to do, but sometimes it's more effective just to speak to them. They're surprisingly amicable to, you know, conversation. Now, to be able to bring over, like, conservatives is a whole different matter. They're a pain in the ass. Yeah, another land. Okay, well. I win. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Now, if you do it right, you can start radicalizing the libs. But it's way better to have them as reformist socialists than for them to start backsliding towards fascism like they sometimes do. And I really dislike when they start sliding to the right. Very bad for us. So if we can keep them on our side, we can get them to be a little bit more... Even reformist socialists are better than fucking conservative or regular capitalist libs. You know, if we get them off the capitalism bit, then liberals really aren't that bad. They're a little overly performative. They go a little too, like, virtue signally for my taste. But, you know, we can work with that. But I do think that there's different strategies. This actually plays into it. That thing's a bit of a pain. So we play this. We'll play this. Boom. And then we hold off. We're gonna take the 2 or whatever. That's fine. Strategy. We play this. I probably should have blocked, and then I could just play that. And yeah, but no. We'll throw this out. And then I'll hit you with that. So, this all does play into leftist strategy. Our main issue in America, climate crisis. If we don't have enough power, we will fail. We fall to fascism faster than a failed art student can write a propaganda. Yes. Like, just absolutely, that's true. I've heard people talk about how it's the climate crisis or this or that. No. Not at all. Okay, so that lets me foretell this. So I have another foretell. Pass turn. 100% the climate crisis is the biggest issue. So things that, see, I would have been a little bit more amicable to force the vote if it was for the Green New Deal. But even then, I think it was pretty poor. So with the climate crisis, we 100% need really bold, really strong action right now. Okay, so that's going to cost 3, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll play that tapped. That's a thing. Neither of those are artifacts or enchantments. So we'll just keep it in hand. Let's attack. Next. Because I have to cast 2 spells to get the thing done. Let me go ahead and get that out. We end turn. But the faster we can deal with the climate crisis, now I do think we need to. I've made plenty of suggestions. I've called my Congress people. I actually do like some actual in real world things, and I feel like a lot of people don't. That's not good. Alright, we're now in a major problem. It's 3, 4, 5. No attacks. Well, I think honestly, the conservative vote will mostly just fall under line with him, except for the ones who decide that they could just, I don't know, if they do fall under a different thing, that's a problem. Is this instant? It is. So we resolve that. Then we blow it up. So if he does run under a different party and there is a big enough that's 4. That's 7. That's better than nothing, comrade. It's praxis. Any amount of praxis is praxis, and it's good, and I appreciate that you do that. Yeah, I've talked to my co-workers. I talked to the people that I deliver to, because I deliver to restaurants. I'm restaurant supply, delivering like boxed beef and stuff. So I talk to the people that I deliver to. I do it real subtly, and that's part of the thing, is like there is a conservative guy that is a dishwasher at one of the restaurants. Son of a bitch, I'm gonna lose. But he's pretty chill overall. He has some right-leaning views, he has some left-leaning views, he has, you know, he's an very interesting character. But the way I couch my language is like I approach whenever we're talking about it, he's like, I think this, you know, so usually about like Hillary or some shit. And I'm able to kind of point out by bringing up, yes, Hillary is absolute shit. I do not disagree. But you do have to understand that there's definitely worse things out there, and I point out things that like Trump has done and shit like that. There's legitimate things to be able to bring up. And so if you direct conversations in the appropriate way, I've managed to move him more to the left. He's still got some right-leaning views and stuff, but it's a process. You have to get them to start questioning their own belief system before they actually get into it. Having been a former reactionary at the age of like 16 and shit, that was like 12 years ago, I understand. I get it. I know that there's a certain process. You cannot make it seem like you changed their mind. You have to plant the seed, and then because they're always stubborn, and that's why they react, that's part of the reason they're reactionary at least, they don't want to question themselves. I'm even slightly guilty of it now. But I have to. I have to be introspective. I have to recognize when I messed up. That's why person I have on my Discord now, somebody I talked to earlier, I legitimately just actively had to apologize to them both on Twitter and on stream because I was a jackass. They were a comrade too, but the way that they were talking, they weren't communist, which, okay, I mean, but they are socialist. Kind of a market socialist even, which is better than I anticipated. I think that that's actually probably our next best step to move forward to, is market socialism. which is kind of it's an interesting term, and I know some people kind of scoff at it, but socialism is defined by like two key tenets, which is workers owning the means of production and abolition of the commodity form. And the way market socialism works is you greatly reduce the commodity form and workers own the means of production. Like a whole lot of worker co-ops kind of competing. All right. That's so sad. Cool. It's a very interesting. Ah. Cool. Oh yeah, I mean, you have to figure out kind of arbitrary distinctions on how things work and whatnot. There can be some issues, but I think it would be a much better position than we are currently at. And I mean, how is Yugoslavia's economy right now? Do you have any links or anything you could send him? I'd have to look at them after this kind of thing. Take it easy, comrade, and feel free to stop in and maybe jump in the Discord at some point if you feel like. I'll send a link if you hit me up on Twitter, then I can send you a link probably through there. But you take care. It just seems much less relevant at the moment. Yeah, but if you had any links about their economy, because it's kind of a big one. I know that Yugoslavia is not a thing currently, but if there's any historical links about their economy, I'd like to look over them. I'll look them up after the stream if you don't have anything for me. But if you got, if you got to go and everything, I completely understand. And getting engagement is fun. I enjoy that. That's not good. Yay. And giant motherfuckers. Do that. That's 6, 7, 8, 9. That takes 10. I'm 1 short, so I need to do this. Next. Back. Go. Make copy. Next. Yep, that's fine. That's fine. Back the creature. Down to 3 5s. Perfectly fine to me. Now I can drop my colossal plot into the... Okay. Oh my god. That's 12 fucking damage. Yeah. Seems good, I like. Alright. We go next. We swing, and we swing. Yeah. Next. Choose your blocker. Block it there and there. Okay. Dunzo. No, socialism is not inevitable. You can never think that socialism is just inevitable. Never just think that socialism is inevitable. You always have to fucking fight for it. Even if it actually is, never think that it is. Dead. Yeah, I'm dead. Pass. I'm super dead. Whittle down the blockers, obviously. Let me try and draw something good. Not good. Not. Game. Good game. This is really bad for me. Like, extremely so. Do the clicky blockies. Do the clicky blockies. I need you to do the proper clicky blockies. I think I lose though, because I don't have any board wipes. Yep. Can't get out of it. I'm dead. It's absolute trash though. Deck is complete trash. Don't get it wrong, folks. I still get to... We'll play this last game. I'm probably gonna lose. If I don't lose, then we'll go until I do. But once I do lose and have to drop out, then we take a break. Because I have been going for... an hour. Hour and a half. Friend. Yeah, he's my friend. Okay. We go back to the appropriate thing. Let's go. Keep. I like it a lot. Oh no. Wish I would grab more of those. What you gonna do? There we go. Yeah, just get rid of it. I'll go ahead and do that. Draw myself another card. I just need to have this thing out, I think. And that's more important to get rid of. That's not good. Go. Hit him. Yeah, there's a good reason I did that. I'm gonna take some damage here, and it's really bad. Really bad. Really, really bad. I'm just gonna pay its mana cost. There's no reason to foretell it. However, this thing. Oh, I'm dead. Yep. Didn't get enough flying out. Okay. That was a terrible draft. I did absolutely dog shit. But I got 100 gems and a Carbine pack. Yay! That gets me one step closer. Holy shit. Alright, that's a very interesting thing. This thing is bound to be absolutely gnarly now at this point. Okay. Interesting. I can't be too upset with that. So, I do have a deck that I was working on that's Foretell, I think. It's gonna be all the way down here at the bottom, because it's not. Take. I didn't think so. Yeah. I don't have anywhere near enough for that. 5-color saga. This is it. This is the Foretell. Yeah, because it's got Essica. Got the first heroine games. But it's missing a bunch. Right? So, we go Planeswalker. Nico. That leaves me 4 cards. So what do you do there? Boom. Go here. And go with Rare. Flame Devourer. That honestly needs to be like a bigger deal in this deck. But that's something the glass pool mimics can fucking target. So at least there's that. Ooh, anti-progressive Twitter bots exposed. Yeah, of course. There's always those. Nina China tweeting. Wonderful woman she is. I do have a video that I'm going to be uploading. I don't have work tomorrow, so I'm gonna. I'm streaming a bit right now, and then I'm probably gonna be up early tomorrow to stream as a surprise early morning Monday thing. I wonder how some of this stuff works with Foretell. Hard to know. But I'm willing to run them. Ooh, Okay. Get rid of Caliph. Get rid of... We'll get rid of one Banishing Light. And then we'll put 2 Collect Bridges in. Does anything here require? No. Get rid of those. And we obviously are putting temples in. Get rid of one of those. Temple of Deceit. Temple of Malady. We will kick a... This stuff is super useful. I like it. All of it is. You know what? We'll cut them all. We will cut them all. Down to 1. And this could also be really useful. I like the ultimatums, so let me put that one in. And then I need to cut 1 more. 1 more. We'll cut 1 glass pool mimic. Actually, no we won't. Why would I need to cut that? For the temple? I don't think so. I need the white. I mean the blue. Said the wrong fucking thing. That's a pretty good one. You know what, let's just cut those for this particular version. It needs 2 of these. Just absolutely needs them. But you know, maybe, just maybe. Let's get rid of the Mirror Maid. Put 2 Cobras in. And then we'll cut a white. For a blue land. Yeah, that's really good. I read, what was that creature that can come in and become a... Oh yeah, that's what it was. The fucking vehicle. Wait, what are some of these? Oh, okay. Whatever you say, whatever you say, you say. Jessica's chariot, very, very useful. So, gonna be great. All right. Is it legendary? Tell me it's not. Where did it go? Right there. It is. God dang it. Okay, so I don't need to put in the mirror things. So, what we do here... All the Skyclaves is good, but I don't necessarily need it in this. Yeah, I mean... Wait, do I not have a Rostan here? Alright, I gotta get rid of those and put in my big ends there. I think that's good. I think that's a pretty good run. All the spells potentially have foretell. We're good. Right? Not the deck I'm gonna run though. But it is interesting. Alright. This was fun to keep my brain engaged. Exit this game while I discuss some stuff. I ended up talking to Nicholas over here, but you know, that's fine. Sometimes I just get distracted and ramble the chat. A normal part of life. Very normal part of life. Let me check my phone. Gotta see if I was getting Messages. Nope, no messages. Good to know. Alright, y'all, let's get you set up. Yeah, that's the one that I had. So, we will be taking a break here in a moment. I wanted to get that set up. Just for fun skis. I don't know how to do all the cool, fun streamer things where I can fuck around and... So, I'll work on that. In the meantime, I wonder how much processing power this thing takes. Let's figure it out. If I can, like, record this to my... God damn it. That's not fun. Okay. I had to log into Steam real quick. Yes, obviously. Oh. Oops. Oh, okay, that's good. I hadn't done that yet. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Okay. I guess the real question is this maxing it? No. We're still going strong. Able to download this. Cool. I really want this to be quick, but I have a feeling it's not going to be. Yeah, that's gonna take forever. So, we'll get to that next time. As in probably tomorrow. Because I do want to play that game. What is this? Oh. Nice. It tells me if I have this minimized. See, 47%, 43%, 41%. I like that a lot. I was gonna play that, but I guess not. This takes way more processing power than what I can handle. So does this. I need some really low impact on this games. I think this is it, but it's going to take a little while to download. That I might be able to actually record videos for Phantasy Star Online 2, which looked like a lot of fun. Okay, so let's just... We'll close that. And... What's a good low-impact game that doesn't take a lot of processing power from my PC? That's not Minecraft right now because my server isn't working. Destiny 2 is not it. That isn't Galciv because I'm gonna have to... I got a lot of work to do on that. before I'm ready to delve back into that. Geometry Wars 3 is very loud. And Super Bernie World is just Super Mario World, but Bernie themed, which is interesting. But kind of, you know. You know what? We're just gonna let this do its thing. And I can talk while this does this. And hopefully, I can talk long enough that this works. And I should have just left this running and come up with this idea earlier. Oh, it's a Sega game? Oh, it's gonna be sick as fuck! Okay. I learned what Sega's spent all their time doing. Good. Good. Good to know. Oh, what is it gonna take, though? Just gotta download everything. Okay. While this starts, I'm gonna take my break. It is 9:20 p.m. We've gone over quite a bit of news today. It's been very interesting. And we might unpack some of that a little bit more later. But as it stands, we got to get back into talking about rhetoric, strategy, effectiveness, and problems that the online left have with all of those. So I will see y'all back here in a little bit. Alrighty, and we are pretty much back. So, things I've noticed about the online left, which gotta criticize the things you love as well as the things you don't like. Because if you don't criticize the things you love in an appropriate manner, then it kind of just stays as an echo chamber. And I can't let the online left, in good conscience, stay as an echo chamber without me at least attempting to make some sort of good impact, a good impression, and bring some good arguments for why we need to be able to critique ourselves like we do other things. Because there's so many lefties who think, oh, I've read like 50% of Marxist theory, and I think I understand it, and I'm just going to start belittling everyone else. Now, I use that tactic against people who start using it against me. If you want to come at me and belittle me, I will come back and belittle you. Because I know how to fight fire with fire. But sometimes you need to step back and recognize that you're getting into an argument with somebody. And again, I'm guilty of this. But you're getting into an argument with somebody with whom you pretty much agree on like all the major issues. You guys have different interpretations of things, and it's usually the theory-bound leftist who just constantly quotes theory as if it's the end-all be-all. They don't actually participate. They don't do anything to further the interests of the left, except for, you know, circle jerk and leftist communities online. That's why I will constantly and without hesitation say that Bernie is a better leftist than somebody like Breonna Joy Gray. Now, Breonna Joy Gray has actually done like on the ground work, so she has more qualifications for things than say Ben Vosh, we'll use him as an example, although he's trying to work on getting into the ground game and organizing and stuff. But even right now, Vosh, Sean, ContraPoints, Philosophy Tube, none of them have, as to date, actually really participated in any on-the-ground work. Vosh is working on it, but he didn't even think it was something he could do until fucking Destiny did it. Meanwhile, the reason I actually came back to YouTube after taking a very long hiatus, partly to reflect upon myself, was because of a snub by the election board in my state for me to run for a local office. And since I couldn't do an on-the-ground actual change in that regard, I decided to do this. And hopefully, people in my state, I mean, I've already had one person from my state come on and talk about these issues today. And so I'm actually going to be taking that, clipping it down into a segment and uploading it individually on YouTube. You know, talking with someone from Oklahoma. Something like that. Come up with some catchy title, whatever. So I've got some work cut out for me because I gotta download this, I gotta upload a video that I just finished. I'm not very good with editing videos, and I'm trying to learn how to do it well with the program that I've got. But I wanted to put something out for Black History Month, and so that's a video that is waiting for upload. Because some of my older videos actually have better editing and whatnot than ones that I do now, because I used to only be able to do things on PlayStation 4. And so all my everything that I did is it's smoother and looks a little bit better because I was able to put a lot of work into those videos with a very, very easy to use program, because the Share Factory on PlayStation is very easy to use. And it's super simple. Doesn't have a whole lot that you can really do with it. Not as much as like Lightworks up there. And I don't know how to operate Lightworks very well. So I can kind of learn as I go. I like to figure it out because I can't just have somebody tell me. I have to try and figure it out as well. Probably something to do with me being still a bit stubborn. And also the fact that I like to try and work out problems. But as it sits, video qualities are going to be a little while I work on that. Anyways, back on track more. The online left. And the issues that I see them in. Infighting is one of the biggest ones. You could be in agreement with somebody on so many policies, like all the main issues. It's just approach and strategy that you disagree on. And some, in my experience, people who just have a very esoteric understanding of esoteric theory, trying to use that for modern day circumstances with modern day globalist economies. Like, come on. You have to be able to learn to adapt your 100-year-old plus theories. They're They're kind of old. They need to be adapted to a modern era with modern circumstances and a material dialectic analysis that fits today's world. Marx taught us the tools. We just gotta actually use them the right way and not be dipshits. But the problem I keep coming across is all the dipshits. The Othcoms, especially. Now, I kind of say that they're not part of the left, and that's because they are so willing to work with fascists to achieve their goals, while disregarding the fact that fascists are going to kill them as soon as they get an opportunity. Because they're willing to work with them because of how closely they can align their values, at least their strategies and tactics. It's an issue that I really have a problem with. And then there's another divide that's even stupider, which is non-tankies versus the anarchists. Now, I fit into the anarcho-communist camp, the original libertarian, by the way. So if I call myself a classical libertarian, it's for rhetoric purposes. But, yeah, anarcho-communism is my personal philosophy as far as how things need to proceed. But I'm also a pragmatic utilitarian consequentialist. I know, it's a lot of titles and overlapping philosophies. I get it. But I do feel that it is currently the best way to maneuver through society, is to look at it through multiple lenses on how to proceed, how to push your ideology, and also how to survive. Because this is a cruel capitalist hellscape. And nobody escapes unscathed. Well, no, even the capitalists don't. So, my approach might be seen as super unorthodox, but I want to try and couch my language in ways that actually seem like it's a benefit to the capitalist, as well as the average person. Because in all actuality, getting capitalists to just, and yes, I know it sounds fanciful, but getting them to just start to move over in that direction is, at least, even if it will not happen, it's something that you can, on the side, also do. It's another facet to your approach. And I think there are too many leftists who don't take a multifaceted approach to any fucking thing. So trust me, I get the frustration that some of you feel. I also get the frustration that a lot of you liberals feel. I see them. I see the jokes all the time. I'm even in a couple of groups that make fun of liberals. I don't generally participate, although sometimes liberals are very funny and good to make fun of. Leftists are also good to make fun of. But generally when I'm making fun of liberals, it's because of their ineffectual nature and the like ridiculousness of some of their positions. They're so close. The progressive, more left-leaning liberal, the person who kind of thinks that capitalism is the best economic system, but thinks that social progress is something that we need to make. They're close. They can be moved. Anyone can be moved. It's just about the approach. And the online left has a really big fucking problem. Actually, this may be the absolute biggest. No, it's the second biggest, possibly tied, but it's really big. They have a problem with just throwing out liberals, completely ostracizing them. And it's a bigger problem to me than when the tankies try and call everybody a liberal if they're not on board with a fucking violent vanguardist party that tries to accelerate the fall of capitalism. And yeah, they're a problem. That's part of the infighting problem, quote unquote. And that's what is potentially the biggest. It's kind of a tie between the two. The really big group-based infighting and the complete shitting on liberals. I get it. Liberals are very interesting kinds of people. They're very easy to make fun of in a lot of ways, a lot of regards. But you can't just toss them out. Just because they're not fucking super radicalized like you are, doesn't mean you just throw them to the side. That's not how you coalition build. That's not how you be effective. That is the most brainless way to move through politics. Oh, you're not already radicalized? Fuck off, liberal. You're worthless. You're trash. Is not good optics. The online left, the people who do shit like this on a constant basis, are the reason the left doesn't go anywhere. It's people like AOC, Ilhan Omar, Angela Davis, Bernie Sanders. It's those kinds of peoples who have brought over more people to leftist positions than anyone else. I mean, by proxy, Marx gets all the credit. But as far as like who actually did the groundwork to radicalize, Bernie Sanders, AOC, Ilhan Omar. Those are the people in the current day who have done more to radicalize Americans and liberals towards the ideas of socialism than anyone else. So if you think you're more politically effective than any of those people, you point me to the millions of people who you've gotten on board with ideas like Medicare for All and a Green New Deal, and making the world better for workers and for regular people, and pushing for pretty good lefty, at least left-leaning policies. You point me to it, you point me to yours. Point me to those people, point me to those policies that you've pushed and actually managed to get a House floor vote on. Some of them passed. Some of them gathering millions upon millions of people's support. 145 million people plus. You show me your policy. You show me your millions of people you've radicalized. Because I guarantee you ain't got it. So instead of looking at Bernie Sanders not voting to defund the police, like he said he wasn't going to do almost a full fucking year before the vote came up, and throwing him aside, calling him a liberal and a traitor, why don't you sit down and shut the fuck up? because you're not as politically effective as Bernie Sanders. You have done nothing compared to Bernie Sanders. Nothing. I don't care who you are. If you're an online leftist, me, I've done nothing in comparison. Brianna Joy Gray, done nothing in comparison. Jimmy Dore, been more harmful than good. So, don't go tossing out people who are actually good at maneuvering through politics and at least getting people on their side, getting some concessions here and there that are good for people in the most ruthless, anti-worker fucking government that's in the quote-unquote developed world. That's in the quote-unquote West. Because America is extraordinarily hostile to workers. They hate you. They do. They think very little of you. And so, having people be able to get those kinds of concessions and those movements forward and the mass radicalization that they've done to lefties, for leftism, that's a good thing. They do good work. They make some mistakes here and there. They slip up and don't do the perfect thing. Sometimes they have to make a decision on voting on something that's an overall not great looking policy because there was some concessions they were able to slip in there that made things better for people. Because that thing was going to pass regardless, but by holding up their vote, Bernie in particular, they were able to get some concessions for the sense of quote-unquote bipartisanship. Because look, even independent Senator Bernard Sanders signed on this thing because he was able to use his political capital. And he uses it very fucking effectively. I would like to see any of these other dipshits. Brianna Joy Gray, go ahead. Run for Congress. Get elected. Let's see how much you can actually get accomplished. Jimmy Dore, go ahead. Run for Congress. It'll turn out worse than Cenk Uyghur's election. You'll get blown the fuck out in your district that you're running in. And it'll be hilarious. And even if you did win, let's see you get anything done. You'll get blown the fuck away. You'll never get any coalitions built with the way you act. Because you're not politically effective. So let's face it. We can do better. We need to do better. We can't keep sitting around with our thumbs up our asses, talking about how the revolution's going to be wonderful. It just doesn't do anything for us. So, stop. Figure out an approach. Figure out how to talk to your fucking family and get them on board. Talk to your neighbors, get them on board. Set up mutual aid. Work amongst your friends. Get some of your good lefty friends and stuff. And if you have some stuff you can spare, and you notice that there's people in your neighborhood who are having a bit of trouble, you can have a fucking mutual aid effort to where you go around and help those people out. Doesn't have to be much. Every little bit gets people thinking, why would somebody do this? And not in a negative way. How could somebody, in the middle of this kind of situation, in a pandemic and shit, give up some of their food to a struggling family? Surely they're not doing necessarily great themselves, but they gave up something that they felt that they could spare to me. And that's how you can build a community. And by doing small actions like that, you can start to radicalize people. You can get them. And it may seem hypocritical. I'm in literally no position to be able to do that. Like, I'm working off of ramen. I can't afford a webcam. I can't hardly, yeah. Anyways, my financial situation is rough at the moment. But even then, if I find something I could help out with around my house, yeah, I'll try. I'll try and figure it out. Because we have got to take another approach. We've got to do more than what we're doing right now. Because what we're doing right now isn't really working that well. Because we keep turning people away. When you shit on liberals all the time, the liberals don't want to join you. They don't want to work with you because you just bully them and don't do anything productive. They're out there doing work. Fucking progressive liberal destiny. Stephen Bonnelly. Or Bonnell. He's out there canvassing. He did canvassing for Ossoff and Warnock. And now he's doing canvassing for the mayorship. One moment. Okay. So we're sitting at this point in time where we have tools that we can use, that we should use to try and bring people to us. We just don't, over and over. We fail to do it. We get some, but we turn off almost as many people as we bring on, simply because we have people who just, again, they shit on liberals, they're really infighty, they're super exclusionary, they're inclusive to, like, diverse groups in a, like, identity sense outside of your political identity. But if you're a liberal, you get shit on almost worse than conservatives in a lot of lefty groups. And that needs to fucking stop, especially. Liberals are not worse than conservatives. They just aren't. I know. The left doesn't like it. Conservatives aren't as bad. Conservatives are just stupid and misguided, and liberals are just... No. Shut the fuck up. They're all misguided. Conservatives are just really dumb and malicious about it. Liberals at least have a good heart. They just don't agree on, changing the economic system because they're scared. They don't really know what the alternative is because there was kind of this thing called the McCarthy era. I think a lot of lefties, they just overlook that. But there's some legitimate fears that are passed down through shit like that. Anyways, This thing still has like 13 minutes. I've been going for another 2 hours and 29 minutes. I should probably upload my other video. But when this thing's done, I'll try and make a video on it as well. So, I'm probably gonna clip this segment out of this and upload it. As a matter of fact, I might just, yeah, no, I'll figure something out. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, hit the subscribe if you want to see more shit of me rambling and being angry at online leftists and tearing apart conservatives and occasionally talking to people in a chill manner because I like to get high before I do these and while I do these. So enjoy. Take care. And happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Yay, secondary Valentine's Day stream.